You say you want to be successful. You dream of financial freedom. You envision a life where you wake up every day with power, purpose, and peace. But then, you pour yourself another drink. Let's get brutally honest. Alcohol is the anchor keeping you stuck. It's the silent killer of dreams, the invisible hand pulling you away from everything you say you want. It numbs your focus. It clouds your vision. It weakens your discipline. And yet, society keeps selling it as relaxation, fun, and social connection. They don't tell you it's destroying your ability to build wealth, to build discipline, and to build the life you deserve. This is not a moral argument. This is not about religion. This is about strategy. If your life is a war for your potential, then alcohol is the enemy infiltrating your camp every night, robbing you of your edge. Do you think the men who built empires wasted their time getting drunk? Do you think millionaires wake up hungover? Every man who's ever created greatness has one thing in common. They protect their energy like it's gold. Because it is. Alcohol drains that energy. It robs you of your early mornings, your deep thinking, your creative fire. It makes you weak, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and financially. This text is a wake-up call. Not the gentle kind. The kind that grabs you by the collar and shakes you out of your excuses. If you're ready to rise, to truly rise, it starts with removing what keeps pulling you down. And alcohol is at the top of that list. So read this with a clear mind. Or if you're still under the fog, let this be the slap that clears it. Your goals, your money, your woman, your destiny. All of them are on the other side of a clear, focused, alcohol-free mind. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Escape. Why alcohol feels good but destroys everything. Let's start with the truth no one wants to say out loud. Alcohol doesn't make your problems go away. It just makes you care less that they exist. That temporary numbness, that artificial calm, that's not healing. That's not freedom. That's sedation. And sedation is the opposite of power. Every time you reach for a drink to relax, to escape, to unwind, what you're really doing is avoiding. Avoiding the discomfort of your current reality. Avoiding the silence where your truth lives. Avoiding the pressure of responsibility, growth, and clarity. But guess what? Every time you avoid something in your life, that thing grows stronger. Your anxiety doesn't disappear. It waits for you. Your broken relationships don't fix themselves. They rot. Your financial mess doesn't clean itself up. It gets worse. Alcohol doesn't fix pain. It delays the moment you have to face it. And in the meantime, it weakens you. But it gets worse. Because while it numbs your emotions, it also damages your willpower. The same man who says, "I'll only have one," ends up having three. The same man who says, "This is my last time," repeats the cycle the next weekend. Why? Because alcohol lowers your internal defenses. It disconnects you from your purpose. It makes you forget who you want to become. And in that forgetfulness, you trade your future for a moment's pleasure. Let's be clear. This is not about moderation. This is about control. Who's really in charge? You or the drink? If you can't say no every time, then you've already given up a piece of your power. And the man who gives up control is the man who loses the war. Think about the time, the energy, the money you've lost to alcohol. The hangovers that stole your mornings. The foggy mind that ruined your productivity. The arguments you started. The shame you carried. The decisions you regret. It's not just what alcohol costs at the bar, it's what it costs in lost opportunities. That night you didn't network. That day you didn't create. That business idea you let fade because your energy was too low to act on it. Alcohol doesn't just kill brain cells, it kills momentum. And momentum is everything. Successful people aren't smarter. They're not luckier. They just move with relentless momentum. They wake up early. They focus hard. They work consistently. And none of that is possible when you're tired, bloated, anxious, or distracted by cravings. Alcohol slows you down in every area. Mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's not a reward. It's a trap. Now let's talk about the lie society sells you. The commercials show beautiful people laughing over wine. The movies show the cool guy ordering whiskey with confidence. The songs glorify the wild party lifestyle. But what they don't show you is the aftermath. The vomiting, the regret, the broken marriages, the credit card debt, the depression, the lost years. They never show the man sitting alone at 2 a.m. wondering why his life feels meaningless. Because that's not glamorous. That's reality. And you know it. You've lived it. You've seen the faces of friends who drink every weekend and are still in the same place 5 years later. You've felt the emptiness that comes after the buzz wears off. You've had the mornings where you look in the mirror and ask, "What the hell am I doing with my life?" That's not weakness. That's your soul trying to wake you up. Listen to it. The truth is simple. You don't need alcohol. You never did. You were born with everything you need to become powerful. Your mind, your will, your fire. But every drink you take dims that fire a little more. Until one day, you don't recognize the man staring back at you. He's tired. He's lost. He's disconnected from his greatness. And the worst part? He doesn't even know why. Alcohol doesn't just kill your health. It kills your vision. When you drink, you forget your goals. You forget your values. You forget the urgency of your mission. How many times have you sworn to take your life seriously, and then sabotaged yourself that same night with just a few drinks? That cycle ends when you decide it ends. That cycle ends when you say, "I don't run from my life anymore. I face it head on." So face it. Face the pain. Face the emptiness. Face the pressure. Let it fuel you. Let it sharpen you. Because that discomfort, that's the signal you're still alive. That's the signal you have something inside worth fighting for. Alcohol hides that signal. Sobriety amplifies it. The choice is yours. This chapter is not about guilt. It's about ownership. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming stress. Stop blaming society. You are a grown man. You know what's killing your power. Now take your power back. It starts with a decision. One clear, powerful decision. I don't drink. I don't need it. I'm not that man anymore. You want more money, more purpose, more self-respect? Then stop poisoning the very machine that's supposed to create all that. Your mind is your weapon. Your body is your vehicle. Your spirit is your fuel. Alcohol weakens all three. The world is already hard enough. Don't make it harder by staying in a fog. Wake up. Rise up. Sharpen your edge. And never forget this truth. Alcohol is a thief that steals silently, until you realize you've lost years you can't get back. Don't let that be your story. Chapter 2. Alcohol and Discipline. The hidden war you're losing. Discipline is the foundation of all success. You can have talent, ambition, even luck. But without discipline, it all falls apart. And alcohol? Alcohol is the quiet enemy that slowly chips away at your discipline without you even noticing. Here's the hard truth. Every time you drink, you reinforce the habit of saying yes to weakness. You might tell yourself it's just one beer, just one night out, just one weekend to blow off steam. But your brain doesn't understand. Just one. What it learns is this: when I'm stressed, I drink. When I'm bored, I drink. When I want to feel good, I drink. And that wiring becomes permanent. It becomes your pattern. And that pattern runs your life. Most people don't ruin their lives in one big, dramatic moment. They ruin them slowly, with small decisions made over and over again. And alcohol is one of those small decisions with massive consequences. It doesn't just ruin a night. It ruins momentum. It ruins trust in yourself. Because if you can't control the drink, how will you control your diet, your spending, your work ethic, your schedule, your dreams? Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Alcohol kills that mindset. It makes you dependent on how you feel. It trains you to seek relief instead of results. You start chasing comfort instead of conquering your goals. And little by little, you become soft, unfocused, weak. You can't build a powerful life from a weak foundation. Look at the top performers in any field. Athletes, CEOs, warriors, entrepreneurs. You won't find alcohol at the center of their lives. Why? Because they understand something you might be ignoring. Clarity is sacred. Energy is sacred. Discipline is sacred. They protect those things like their life depends on it. Because it does. You want to build wealth? Build discipline first. You want to lead a family? Build discipline first. You want to command respect in your circle? Build discipline first. And you cannot build discipline with alcohol in your bloodstream and weakness in your habits. Some people think they can balance it, drink socially, stay on track during the week, reward themselves on weekends. That's not balance. That's sabotage wearing a mask. Because the truth is, when you drink, even a little, you lower your standards. You become more likely to skip workouts, eat garbage, sleep in, lose focus, waste time. You let your guard down. And in a world this competitive, letting your guard down is how you lose. Discipline is like a muscle. Every time you make the hard choice, the choice to wake up early, to work when you're tired, to say no to the drink, that muscle gets stronger. And every time you give in, it gets weaker. Alcohol doesn't just damage your liver. It damages your ability to make the right choices when it matters most. But here's the good news. You can take your power back. Right now. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. One decision at a time. One day at a time. It starts by saying, I'm done letting alcohol make decisions for me. I'm in control now. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to become a monk. But you do have to be honest. Ask yourself, is alcohol helping me become the man I want to be? Or is it holding me back? You already know the answer. Your future will be built on the choices you make in private. The nights you say no. The mornings you show up. The standards you uphold when no one is watching. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't post on social media. It doesn't ask for applause. It simply shows up, again and again. And eventually, it wins. You want to win? Then act like it. Cut the poison. Embrace the pressure. Fall in love with the grind. Build the kind of discipline that makes people ask, how the hell does he do it? You do it by removing anything that weakens your edge. And alcohol is one of those things. You can't be sharp and dull at the same time. Choose sharp. Choose power. Choose a life of focus, discipline, and domination. And it starts with one simple rule. I don't drink. I don't need it. I'm building something too important to waste. Chapter 3. Alcohol Kills Wealth. How every sip delays your financial freedom. You say you want money. You say you want freedom. But your actions say otherwise. Because every time you spend your money on alcohol, you're not just buying a drink, you're buying delay. You're trading compound interest, investments, business capital, and growth for a short-term buzz that leaves you broke and tired. Let's break it down. First, there's the obvious, the direct cost. How much have you spent on alcohol in the past year? Add the nights out, the bottles at home, the bar tabs, the takeout food you ordered while drunk, the hangover brunches, the Ubers you took because you couldn't drive. Add it all up. What's the number? Hundreds, thousands, more. Now imagine that money invested. Imagine it in an index fund, growing slowly, silently, compounding while you sleep. Imagine that money going toward your business idea, your self-education, your emergency fund, your future home, your freedom. Instead, it went to liquor that weakened your body, your mind, and your drive. But the real cost of alcohol isn't what you spend, it's what you lose. When you drink, you lose mornings. You lose focus. You lose sharpness. And that means you miss opportunities. You think slower. You act slower. You don't see the investment angle. You don't follow through on your ideas. You don't have the energy to start something after work. You don't close the deal. You don't lead with confidence. Alcohol dulls your edge, and in the world of money, your edge is everything. Wealth requires clarity. It requires hunger. It requires execution. You need to move fast, think smart, and stay consistent. And alcohol is the enemy of all three. Let's talk about consistency. The most powerful force in wealth building isn't intelligence. It's consistency. The man who saves, invests, learns, and grows every day, even just 1%, will crush the man who does it when he feels like it. Alcohol makes you inconsistent. It ruins your rhythm, pulls you out of flow. And without flow, your finances suffer. Ever tried to start a side hustle but gave up after a few weeks? Ever planned to read more but got distracted? Ever set goals at the start of the year and forgot them by February? That's not because you're lazy. That's because you're not aligned. And alcohol is one of the main things breaking that alignment. Pulls you out of structure. It disconnects you from your hunger. It gives you short-term pleasure at the cost of long-term satisfaction. Now let's look deeper. What happens to your identity when you drink? You become a consumer, not a creator. You become the one who spends instead of the one who builds. You become the one who numbs instead of the one who leads. That identity doesn't get rich. That identity stays trapped in a cycle of low ambition, low performance, low standards, and low bank balance. Money flows to those who are clear, consistent, and valuable. Alcohol makes you none of those things. Let's talk about relationships, too, because wealth is also about your network. Alcohol destroys relationships. You say things you regret. You become unreliable. You break trust. You attract people who are also lost and avoid people who are winning. The drunk man loses his seat at the table. The clear man earns a place in every room. Drunk you is not wealthy you. Wealth requires you to be in control of your time, your energy, your attention. Alcohol robs you of all three. So, the question becomes, what kind of life are you actually building? One that grows quietly, daily, consistently? Or one that leaks every weekend? Your financial future is not in your job, it's in your habits. And alcohol is one of the most destructive habits there is. You want to be rich? Act like it. Think like it. Live like it. Wealthy men don't escape their problems with drinks. They face them, fix them, and rise from them. They don't chase pleasure. They create value. They don't waste money numbing their stress. They invest in mastering it. You think alcohol helps you cope. But coping is not thriving. Coping is surviving. And you were not born to survive. You were born to dominate. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life you want. Where are your dollars going? To your future or to your escape? And here's the deepest truth of all. Alcohol makes you forget what you truly want. It silences the voice inside that says, I was made for more. It drowns your ambition in dopamine. It makes you content with crumbs when you were meant to own the bakery. But you can change. Right now. You can say, I'm done giving my money, my time, and my energy to something that gives me nothing in return. You can reclaim your wealth. Not just financial wealth, mental wealth, spiritual wealth, energetic wealth. And when you do, your external wealth will follow. Because money is attracted to power, not to weakness, not to fog, not to instability. Every time you say no to the drink, you say yes to the empire you're building. You say yes to vision. You say yes to legacy. Choose wisely. Wealth is watching. Herramientas. Chapter 4. Alcohol kills masculine energy, the hidden attack on your power as a man. There's a reason warriors don't drink before battle. There's a reason kings didn't get drunk before meeting with their councils. There's a reason elite men across history have avoided alcohol when it truly mattered, because they understood this truth. Alcohol weakens your masculine energy. It attacks the very core of your power as a man. Your drive, your clarity, your edge, your dominance. Let's define masculine energy. It's not about being loud or aggressive. True masculine energy is presence, direction, strength, control. It's the energy that builds empires, protects families, takes bold action, and leads others without fear. And none of that survives under the fog of alcohol. When you drink, you lose presence. You disconnect from your body. You speak with less precision. You move with less purpose. Your mind slows down. You become reactive instead of intentional. You lose that I see everything focus that makes a man dangerous in the best way. Dangerous because he's fully awake. Alcohol feminizes your energy. Not because of hormones, though biologically, yes, it does increase estrogen and decrease testosterone, but because it makes you passive. It makes you soft, emotional, scattered, weak. And that weakness shows up in every area of your life. In your mission, you lose the fire. In your body, you lose the edge. In your relationships, you lose the leadership. In your sex life, you lose the drive, the vitality, the confidence. Alcohol kills desire, not just sexually, but in life. It numbs your hunger for more, the fire to grow, to lead, to conquer, to create. It tells your brain, everything's fine. Relax. But things are not fine. You know it. There's more in you. You're not meant to relax your way through life. You're meant to dominate it. Masculinity is about responsibility, ownership, control. Alcohol is the opposite. It's about escape, loss of control, blame, denial. And every time you drink, even socially, you reinforce that energy. You become a little less of the man you were born to be. You think you're just having fun, but your subconscious is always watching. It's keeping score. And every time you give in to the drink, it writes a little note. Can't be trusted under pressure. Seeks comfort instead of growth. Loses edge when it matters. That's not the man you want to be. Masculine energy requires presence. It requires a sharp mind and a grounded body. Alcohol removes both. You can't lead your business, your family, or your life from a place of intoxication. And yes, let's go there. Alcohol also destroys your sexual energy. Biologically, it crushes testosterone. It reduces blood flow. It impairs performance. But more importantly, it damages the confidence and vitality that real sexual magnetism requires. You stop radiating strength. You stop penetrating the world with purpose. You lose your magnetism. And women feel it. The world feels it. Ever notice how the most magnetic men in the room are the ones who are clear, still, grounded, intense? Not the loud, drunk clowns at the bar? That's because true masculine energy doesn't need substances. It is the substance. Sobriety brings your power back. It brings your focus back. It brings your intensity back. When your blood is clean, your eyes are clear, and your purpose is sharp, you walk different. You speak different. You attract different. You lead different. People feel it. Women feel it. Men respect it. And most of all, you feel it. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to carry that inner stillness that says, I don't need anything. I am everything. That's masculinity. Not noise. Not chaos. Not escaping every emotion with a drink. But standing still in your storm and saying, I'm here. I'm awake. I'm ready. The world needs strong men. Present men. Clear men. And you cannot be that man while numbing yourself with alcohol. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. Are you truly leading your life, or are you hiding from it? If you want your power back, your raw, focused, disciplined, magnetic masculine energy, then put down the drink. Pick up the mission. Step into the fire. Because the future is not built by men who numb their pain. It's built by men who use their pain as fuel. Men who choose clarity over comfort. Mission over pleasure. Power over poison. And you are that man. You've just forgotten for a while. Let this be the moment you remember. Chapter 5. Alcohol and Women. Why it's repelling the very love and respect you crave. You think alcohol makes you more confident with women. You think it helps you relax, be smoother, loosen up, have more fun. But here's the truth no one tells you. Alcohol might get you attention for a night, but it kills your ability to build real connection, real respect, and real attraction. Long term, it pushes women away, especially the ones worth having. Let's get brutally clear. High-value women are not attracted to men who drink to escape. They don't admire men who depend on a substance to feel bold, funny, or interesting. They see through the mask. They feel the insecurity underneath. A man who can't sit with himself in silence, sober, grounded, clear, is not a man who can lead a relationship. And women feel that instantly. Maybe you've had nights where drinking made you feel bolder. You talked more, flirted more, laughed more. But were you really yourself? Or were you a louder version of your mask? The truth is, alcohol doesn't give you confidence. It gives you temporary ego. The fake kind. The kind that disappears the next morning when you wake up with anxiety, shame, or regret. Real confidence, that comes from integrity, from discipline, from living in alignment with your values, from walking into a room knowing you don't need anything to impress. You are the presence. That kind of power is built in sobriety. Let's go deeper. Alcohol kills emotional depth. It makes you surface level. It turns your conversations into small talk, your energy into chaos, your intentions into confusion. Women crave depth, safety, leadership, presence. Alcohol removes all of that. It turns a potentially magnetic connection into something forgettable, or worse, something toxic. Think about it. How many arguments, breakups, or awkward moments have happened in your life because of alcohol? How many nights went too far? How many texts you wish you hadn't sent? How many relationships could have been built stronger, or saved, if you'd been clear, calm, and composed? And then there's the darker truth. Alcohol leads to poor choices. You settle for people you don't respect. You say things you don't mean. You sleep with people out of loneliness, not connection. You lower your standards. You move from your wounds instead of your wisdom. And every time you do that, your soul gets quieter. Your self-respect takes a hit. Your masculine energy dims. Eventually, you become the guy who drinks to forget, to escape, to numb the fact that love feels distant. But it's not love that's far, it's you. You've moved away from your own center. And to attract something real, you have to return. Now imagine this. You walk into a room with clear eyes. You speak with stillness. You listen deeply. You don't need anything. Not approval, not validation, not alcohol. You carry yourself like a man who knows who he is. That's the man who draws the right woman. That's the man who makes her feel safe, seen, inspired. That's the man she respects. Because women don't follow chaos, they follow strength. And alcohol is not strength. It's self-abandonment. Let's not forget what it does to your body. Alcohol weakens testosterone. It inflames your gut. It slows your recovery. It ruins your sleep. It makes your skin dull, your belly soft, your energy low. You become less sexually attractive, less vibrant, less magnetic. And deep down, you know it. You've looked in the mirror and felt the weight of it. The tired eyes, the swollen face, the guilt. And still, you try to tell yourself it's normal, that everyone does it. But you're not everyone. You're not meant to live average. You're meant to radiate power, energy, direction. You want a relationship where she looks at you with admiration? Then become the kind of man who's worth admiring. A man with standards. A man with control. A man who walks away from what no longer serves his future. And let's talk about the kind of women you attract when you drink. Are they truly aligned with your mission? Are they grounded, mature, emotionally intelligent? Or are they just fun for the night? Do they challenge you to grow? Or do they just help you stay numb? When you stop drinking, you don't lose connection. You upgrade it. You stop entertaining people who waste your time. You start attracting people who match your clarity, your fire, your values. You stop chasing and start choosing. Because love is not found in a drunken night. It's built in presence, purpose, and truth. The more you numb yourself, the further you move from that truth. But the more sober you become, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the more you open space for something real. So ask yourself, are you dating from your highest self or from your wounded one? Are you seeking love with a clear mind or with a foggy heart? Alcohol won't fix your loneliness. It will only make you more lost. Connection begins when you come home to yourself. And the first key is this: no more hiding. Put down the bottle. Pick up your mission. Show up to your life like the man she's been waiting for. Because she's not waiting for the drunk version of you. She's waiting for the clear, bold, powerful man you truly are. Final chapter. Burn the bridge. Never go back to the man you were. You've read the truth. You've seen how alcohol sabotages your goals, your money, your discipline, your masculinity, your relationships, your life. And now, there's no unseeing it. You can't go back to pretending this poison is harmless. You can't keep lying to yourself that it's just a drink. Because every sip is a step away from the man you could be. The man you were born to become. The world has enough weak men. It's full of distracted, numb, foggy minds. Men who live on autopilot. Men who chase comfort. Men who drown their power in bottles and call it fun. You are not that man. You are the exception. You are the one who wakes up. The one who breaks the cycle. The one who remembers what he was made for. You are a man with a mission. And nothing should ever come between you and that mission. Especially not a liquid that poisons your brain, your body, and your future. There will be moments when the old version of you whispers, just one. Ignore him. That version is dead. That version cost you too much. That version wasted too many nights, too many mornings, too many chances. You don't owe him anything. Burn the bridge. You don't need to ease out of this. You don't need a transition. You don't need one last wild weekend. You need one clean, final decision. I'm done. I don't drink. I don't poison my mind. I don't sabotage my mission. I don't disrespect my future. This isn't about willpower. This is about identity. From now on, you are the man who protects his clarity. The man who sharpens his edge. The man who shows up fully, every day, every night, without fog, without weakness. You are the man who earns trust, commands respect, and leads by example. You are the man who builds empires, not excuses. You will get tested. Society will tempt you. People will mock you. Nights will get hard. But nothing, not loneliness, not boredom, not pressure, is worse than being a slave to a bottle. You've already lived that life. You know where it leads. It's empty. It's small. It's beneath you. And now you rise. You rise with clean blood, clear eyes, steady hands, and a burning heart. You rise with presence, with purpose, with power. You rise knowing your future isn't found in a drink. It's found in the work, the vision, the relentless commitment to something greater. This isn't just about quitting alcohol. This is about reclaiming your throne. This is about becoming the man your younger self dreamed of and your future self will thank you for. There's no turning back. There's only forward. And every step forward you take in full sobriety, full power, full clarity, is a step toward greatness. Now go build it.